Hello YouTube and welcome back to another Dare to Game video. Today we're playing Mount & Blade Bannerlord, specifically the Eagle Rising Dawn of an Empire mod, and I'm going to be showing you the top 6 coolest Quyaz armors. So these armors are what the mod developers have called kind of their own creation. They've mashed up a bunch of different styles and cultures, but I would call them most closely related to a classic Greek style. Now obviously there's a bunch of Thracian influence in there and other stuff, but I would say that that's kind of the vibe that these suits of armor give me. And so just like the video I made for my Imperial Roman armors from this mod, these ones are not necessarily the best stat-wise that you could make out of all the armor pieces that are available for this faction, because the mod authors for this have just made a ridiculous amount of armor pieces in this mod. What this video is I built 6 different suits of armor out of this faction, and I wanted them to look unique, but I also wanted them to just look good, so the pieces look good together in my opinion. And after I did all of that, then I ranked them based on how good of an armor value they had. So yes, you will almost certainly be able to build a better suit of armor than the ones I'm showing you in this video, but these ones I think just look really, really cool, and that's how they, made it onto this list. So with all that in mind, let's just start it off with number 6, so the one with the lowest armor value. And so at number 6, we have what I call the PHRYNGIAN MASSA armor, and I really like it. I think it looks unique. Of course, that's kind of the vibe I was going for all of these suits of armor, so you'll hear me say that quite a lot, but this one definitely has a more MASSA vibe to it, and I like that. So it's made up of the PHRYNGIAN Simple for the helmet, which gives us 45 head armor. Then we have the Leopard Pelt for our shoulder armor, which gives us 8 body armor. We have the Scale Mail, which is a really simple looking piece, but I still quite like it, and that gives us 51 body armor, 20 leg armor, and 2 arm armor. Then we have the Bronze Bracers, which give us 25 arm armor, and the Bronze Decorated Greaves, which give us 35 leg armor. And I tried to coordinate color scheme on this one, going for a more simple brass look with a lot of our primary stuff, because you'll see as we go through this video, in the Quyaz faction there is a lot of variety and a lot of very colorful stuff that we could have gone with. I wanted this one to have the brass vibe to it, and then I did the secondary color coordination of blue, so you can see we've got our blue accents on the legs and on the torso, and I think all of that paired together with the leopard pelt looks really, really cool. And so a lot of people don't like the PHRYNGIAN Simple style for the helmet, but I think that, if you want to go for a little bit more North African vibe to your feel, I think this works really, really well for it, and looks really cool in my opinion. So this one has a weight of 20.1 kilograms, so it's actually quite light, the second lightest one that I'll have on this video, and an AAR, or average armor rating, of 46.5. So even though, like I said, there are obviously going to be suits that you could get with better armor value than this, having an average armor rating of 46.5 is actually pretty dang high and is going to put you above most people in the game. So even though it's not the best possible, it's still really good, and so I definitely recommend it. So that is number 6. Let's move on to number 5. All right. At number 5, we have what I'm simply just calling the Thracian Lord armor, and kind of just named it that based on the style and the general vibe or level of the armor. So this one is another one that I think looks really cool. In fact, I like this one. Man, it's so hard for me to pick a favorite because, like I've said, all of these suits of armor made it to this list because I thought they looked really cool. But this one it does rank up there because I love the style of this one, and I find it to be a pretty fun melding of the more North African styles as well as the classical Greek styles. So I think it works really well together. So this suit of armor is made up of the Thracian Lord white helmet, so that's just the color pattern and that's how they do it, but it's the Thracian Lord helmet, and it gives you 55 head armor. Then I used the Invisible Shoulders tier 2 from the Empire, so they haven't implemented some invisible shoulder pieces for the Quyaz faction yet. I assume they would at some point, and if they do, then I would just default to them. But if you can get your hands on some invisible shoulders from the Empire, you can pop them on any of these suits of armor, and that way you can have some good shoulder armor without compromising the appearance of the suit that you're going for, and so you'll see me using those throughout this video. The Invisible Shoulders tier 2 give us 20 body armor and 5 arm armor. Then we have the Heavy Scale Linothorax, which I think looks super cool, and it has a body armor of 51, leg armor of 7, and arm armor of 2. Then we have the Bronze Bracers, which give us 25 arm armor, and the Bronze Greaves, which give us 30 leg armor. So like I said, this one has more of an appearance of a medium or maybe medium heavy, because the torso armor does have that scale vibe and it ends rather high. But honestly, I really like the way this one looks. I think that all of the colors coordinate rather well with each other. The only thing is I couldn't find one that didn't, that coordinated a little bit better, which would have had like red lines here instead of these blue lines, because I was going for that sort of red and white vibe on this one. But I do really like the style of how this one turned up, and that's why I used the invisible shoulders, because I wanted, you know, us to be able to fully see the top of the torso armor here to get the cool vibe to it. And the Thracian Lord helmet is probably my favorite variety of helmet from the Quyaz faction. It's got the high crest on it and the classic Greek or even maybe early Greco-Roman. I mean, obviously Thracian being the exact style, but it's got that vibe that I think a lot of people really, really like. And so I love the way the suit of armor looks, and stat-wise, it's pretty dang good. So we have a weight of 22.7 kilograms for this one, so still pretty dang light, and an AAR or average armor rating of 48.75. So it's a decent step above the last one, only a couple points better, but still pretty dang good. So I love the way this one looks, and it does take the number 5 spot, so let's move on to number 4. So here at number 4, we have the elephant armor, and this one is, you know, kind of similar to the last one, but again, you're going to be able to tell, very unique in its own right, and I again love the way this one looks. So the elephant armor is made up of the decorated conic helm, which gives us 50 head armor. Then we have the invisible shoulders tier 2, so again, that's an empire piece, but it's, you know, invisible, so it doesn't make a difference aesthetically. And that gives us 20 body armor and 5 arm armor. Then we have the elephant linothorax, which is where we get our name for this one. Oh, and that one gives us 55 body armor, 15 leg armor, and 2 arm armor. Then we have the bronze bracers for 25 arm armor and the bronze decorated greaves for 35 leg armor. And here you can tell that we're going for that brass and red as our main color scheme, and then a little bit of added white. And again, just a really cool suit of armor. It's got a very unique vibe to it. That's what I'm pretty happy about with this video. I don't think any of the suits of armor look too similar. I think I was able to really emphasize the amount of variety that the mod developers have introduced with the Quyaz faction. And so for the elephant armor, we've got a weight of 19.6 kilograms, making it the lightest suit of armor on this list, but we have an AAR or average armor rating of 51.75, so a decent step above the last one and putting it up into the pretty dang good tier of armor. And like I said, appearance-wise, I think it looks really cool. I mean, maybe you have a different opinion, but that is just a sick-looking suit of armor in my opinion. So that's number 4. Let's move on to number 3. All right, at number 3, we have what I'm calling the Thracian leopard armor. And again, I just wanted unique naming conventions for these. And here, again, we've got a suit of armor that I think just looks really, really good and coordinates pretty dang well. So you'll notice the helmet is pretty similar to one that we've already looked at, and that's because, like I said, the Thracian Lord helmet is probably my favorite helmet, so I couldn't resist using more than one. But we have a different color variant here, which I think coordinates rather well with all of the pieces that I've put together here. So for our helmet, we have the Thracian Lord white, blue, white helmet, and that gives us 55 head armor. Our shoulder armor is the leopard pelt cape, which gives us 8 body armor. So not a very great piece of armor for stats, but I think it looks really cool. We have the detailed musculata with terrouge, and that gives us 60 body armor, 20 leg armor, and 20 arm armor. Then we have the bronze bracers for 25 arm armor, and the bronze decorated greaves for 35 leg armor. And you can see that I chose the greaves with the blue accents, and the armor I went with the white, brass, and blue, and same thing for the helmet. So this one is our white and blue, well, and brass color scheme, and I think it, again, just works really well together. We, of course, are moving up to the musculata, so it gives us that heavier look to it over the first 3 that we looked at on this video. But overall, just a really cool looking suit of armor in my opinion. Like I said for previous suits, and I'll probably keep saying, you let me know if you don't think it looks good. I definitely love the way this one looks. And so for stats on this one, we have a weight of 26 right on the nose, so a little bit heavier, but still what I would consider pretty dang light, and an AAR or average armor rating of 55.75. So a good step above the last one, and again, just moving into extremely good armor for the rating. And so if you pair that with the fact that I think it looks fantastic, especially if you like that white, blue, and brass sort of vibe, then it's pretty hard to beat. But we have 2 more on this list that do, so let's move on to number 2. All right, and for number 2, we have what I'm calling the red MASSIAN soldier. And so this one is a really fun mashup. It's got a lot more unique vibe to it, but I think it's, well, I mean, obviously we've got some MASSIAN influence in here, so it's feels a little bit more like maybe a crossbreed between, you know, North Africa and Greece that I think mashes together rather well for a expensive lord's type of armor. And, of course, an extremely unique and cool-looking helmet. So the suit is made up of the helm with crest, which gives us 45 head armor. Then we, again, have our Empire shoulders, but the invisible shoulders tier 2, which give us 20 body and 5 arm armor. Then we have the detailed musculata with terrouge for the armor, and I went with the red variant of that with the leather accent. And so that gives us 60 body armor, 20 leg armor, and 20 arm armor. Then we have the bronze bracers for 25 arm armor, and the bronze greaves for 30 leg armor. And you can see that we coordinated to make it red, which is why that shows up in the name. I wanted at least one suit on this list to be super duper red, because I know a lot of people are a big fan of that. And I don't know, maybe you want to go Spartan or something like that, and this, you know, feels right for you because they like to incorporate red into a lot of their stuff. Of course, the helmet is off for that. You'd want something with more of a really thin eye slit and probably solid brass, which does exist, but anyway, I just really like the way this one looks. I think it coordinates rather well. Only thing on it that doesn't is this band around the top of the greaves, which is blue, even though all of the rest of the accents on these greaves are red. I was disappointed that I couldn't find one that had no blue on it, but I think it still works rather well, and it's hard to notice that one detail, unless someone like me points it out. So the stats for this one are a weight of 27.6, so getting a little bit heavier. That's the second heaviest suit of armor on this list, but still not overly heavy, and an AAR, or average armor rating, of 56.25. So it only goes a little bit above the Thracian Leopard, but I think definitely has a unique and cool enough look to it to make it a serious consideration for anybody that wants to, I don't know, feel a unique vibe in their Quyaz armor. I love the way this one looks, and it takes the number 2 spot for stats. Let's move on to the final one we're going to be looking at number 1. Alright, and finally at number 1 we have what I'm just calling the Thracian heavy armor, because it's basically just as heavy of a suit I could make and still look really good. And so you can see we're carrying over a similar aesthetic from the last one. We're going with that red sort of vibe, but this one's a lot less red. It's more brass, and red is the secondary, whereas the last one, red was the primary and brass was the secondary. So kind of just flipping it over there. But this suit of armor is made up of the Thracian beard paint plume, and there's going to be several variants of that, and we went with the one that obviously has the most red on it, because that's, you know, what fits with our vibe here. And that gives us 60 head armor. Then we're once again using the invisible shoulders tier 2 for 20 body armor and 5 arm armor. We have the detailed musculata with terrouge, and this time we went with the one with the brass variant for the main body and then the red accents. We have the bronze bracers for 25 arm armor and the bronze decorated greaves for 35 leg armor. And again, we tried to coordinate the colors, giving us that red and brass look to it. And I think it works. I think this one definitely exemplifies what it means to be a heavy Quyaz soldier. We have the beard, the beard paint helmet, which I get a kick out of it because it gives you a face guard. It still has a huge open eye slot, so visibility would still be really good on a helmet like this, but the quote-unquote beard is just, you know, a partial visor that gives you really good protection on your face, but also makes it look like you've got a really big beard. So I always got a kick out of that style of helmet in history. But then, like I said, that all pairs rather well together with the rest of this suit of armor, and I think it looks just really, really good. So stat-wise for this armor, we have a weight of 34.3 kilograms, so it's the heaviest suit on this list, but we have an AAR, or average armor rating, of 61.25. So it's just got ridiculously good stats. Once you get up above 60 for armor value, you can take a lot of punishment before you're going to die. And this suit of armor just really protects you extremely well. I love all of the suits of armor that I showed in this video. I think they all look fantastic. And obviously, even the one with the lowest stats at 46.5 for the AAR, that's still a way above average suit of armor. So all of these are great suits of armor, and in my opinion, all of them look great. If you've got a favorite that I showed you out of all of these, why don't you let me know down in the comments section. I'd be interested to see what other people feel about this sort of stuff, or if you hate the general aesthetic of the Quyaz faction, you can let me know that. But in any case, thanks a ton for watching. I hope you found the video enjoyable, but that's all for today, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching another Dare to Game video. If you like this video, please leave a like and a comment. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the channel. If you like my content and would like to support this channel, consider becoming a member today for as little as $1.99 a month. It makes a huge difference. But in any case, thanks for watching, and have a nice day. I'll see you next time.